Hey everybody, well, back in my car commuting again. I want to revisit something that I talked about on this channel before, but now I've kind of got a more expanded understanding of how this mechanic works. I want to talk about getting a narcissist to actually do the right thing. The more recent videos, some of the previous videos I've done, I talked about how my ex-wife got rid of my son's dog back in January. It has been 9 months since then. She, for all intents and purposes, was sick and tired of the dog and got rid of the dog because she was sick and tired of the dog, and found all kinds of ways to convolute things and justify it and excuse it. And it broke my son's heart, ripped his heart out, because he had the dog for 6 years. And, you know, he was, of course, at age 14, not a fan, and was very resentful, and I don't want to say disrespectful, but clearly unhappy with his mother. And there were some issues there in the house. And so I finally reached out to her and talked to her about it, and thankfully was able to put some sense into her and got her to sign him up for counseling and get him in counseling and therapy and joint sessions, but it's mostly just him, but there was 1 or 2 joint sessions in there, I guess, so the therapist could just kind of sort of get the scent right. Ooh, the sun. In all, she's ended up, I guess, doing the right thing, so to put it that way. My son is feeling a lot better. He's moving past it. He's healing. All the good things that come with having a professional to help you maintain, manage, and grow your mental health. And so over the last 8 or 9 months, I've kind of come to a bit of a more intrinsic understanding of this mechanic. And it's this: you can get them to do the right thing when they perceive that they will look good to the imaginary audience, right? And that may or may not ring familiar with some of you, how there's always an imaginary audience with them. They always love to triangulate. Nobody does this. All of my friends do this. I don't have any friends that do that, right? Everybody's going to think you're crazy. Everybody's going to think you're weird. Everybody's going to hate you, right? They always have like the imaginary audience that they hypothetically present scenarios to and from, and they love to substitute the opinions of imaginary people who all conveniently share their opinion, right? So you can play off of that mechanic. And if you do it, you can't be nearly as grandiose as they are. But if you're subtle, there's actually a very, very powerful manipulation tactic that's called insinuation. And, narcissists are well known for using insinuation, but they are also not immune to it, right? So how does this work? Well, what I found, and again, there's no guarantees on this, but with some practice, I think you'll be able to, hone in on your person, right? You say something like, so in my case with the dog, right? You can say something like, you're just going to look bad to everybody, but whatever, right? Or you say, it's just going to look bad. And they're immediately going to defend themselves, right? And you say, I know you don't care what I think. I'm just saying, other people are probably going to share my opinion, but whatever. That's on you. And let that be that. And they won't acknowledge it at all when they're talking to you, because they're going to be in their zone, right? They have already decided what reality is. But, if you just mention it in passing, it'll circle back around and it will chew in their subconscious. And they'll eventually feel a call to action, because then they're going to say, you know what? you know what, I think they're right. I think I would look bad, right? So you do that and you downplay yourself, right? You're saying, yeah, I don't care how you look. I don't care. I know you don't care how I feel, clearly, right? It's not about me though. It's like, but whatever, you know. It's like, I don't care if you look bad to people, you know, so whatever, right? And in my case, and in the case of my son, it was just, you know, if you want our son to grow up resenting you and holding on to this for years, like you held on to your mom getting rid of your cat, there's no skin off my back. If I wanted to sabotage your relationship, I would do nothing, right? Why would I even bother calling you? If I saw this as some sort of competition or wanted to be a terrible person, I just wouldn't help. And that's what I would do. And quite frankly, my life would be easier if I wasn't trying to help. But, you know, I love my son. And I'm sure you love him too. You know, and one of the things that really hit her hard was whenever she likes to call herself a mama grizzly. Sorry, mama grizzly. I pronounced that weird. Grizzly. She likes to call herself a mama grizzly, and you know the lines. Oh, I would do anything for my child. I would do anything for my son. Oh, I would do anything, right? Oh, except for, you know, keep the dog up, right? And so I told her straight up, I was like, you know, straight up, you no longer get to say that you would do anything for our son, because you won't. Clearly, you have lost that right. You abused that privilege to say that. You can no longer say it, because you will not. You can say, I'll do almost anything for my son that doesn't involve a dog. So there's that. So in any case, you spin it lightly, just so lightly and so quickly, and just put just a little ego doubt sprinkles onto it. They're not going to acknowledge it right away. If they do, that'd be shocking. And if they do acknowledge it right away, that's probably an indicator you're dealing with somebody who's more borderline than narcissistic. But hey, you know, this is not an exact science. People who are high in narcissism are highly unlikely to acknowledge it immediately. But it will still stick nonetheless. And they'll find a way to make the change and never give you credit and never acknowledge what you said. Find some other way to spin it, but off they will go, nonetheless, doing it. And that's what really matters, right? Getting them to do the right thing is ultimately what matters. It doesn't matter if you get credit for it or get, acknowledgement for it, whatever, right? Because you're never going to get that from them anyways. So don't sweat it. Anyways, I hope this helps somebody. Do please like, comment, or share. Tell your stories. I want to hear it. And I'll see you guys on another video.